What's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the FCS Dynasty here on NCAA 06, and we got a great episode on tap. Conference Championship Weekend. That's all that needs to be said. We are going to determine the final automatic qualifier spots for the FCS playoffs, since this is the last episode before the playoff field reveal. So it's gonna be a great episode on tap. 5 games for you guys to watch, so should be a good one. Make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you have to be brand new, as we jump right into the first game of this episode. The Maine Black Bears taking on the New Hampshire Wildcats. Now, these two teams did play up against each other earlier in the season, where Maine did come out on top, but New Hampshire, they win this game, they should get a top 8 seed in the FCS playoffs, and that does entail a first round bye, whereas Maine is literally fighting for its life right now, coming in unranked, barely ranked inside the top 50 nationally. So if they lose this game, their season is going to be over. And Flash Williams knows this, gets a big throw in early, but in the back of the end zone, he's going to throw an interception though. So the New Hampshire defense is going to bend a little bit here midway through the first quarter, but they will not break, at least not yet. And now New Hampshire's going to get the ball here late in the first quarter, as Carlos Montoya, he's going to unload it deep downfield, and he's going to find the senior wide receiver, Bobby Young, who does come into this thing in the FCS Player of the Year hunt, fighting for that Heisman Trophy. As Carlos Montoya, he had one-on-one coverage with one of the best receivers in all of college football. That does end up being barbecue chicken, but 7-0 game here early still, as Bobby Young, he's going to get yet another catch here as well, and that is going to lead to yet another touchdown for the Wildcats of New Hampshire, as that will go ahead and make it 14-0 already. You hate to see it if you are a Maine Black Bear, Brown Bears. Don't know exactly what they're called. Black Bears, Brown Bears. They're Bears either way, as Flash Williams is going to get crushed either way, as Kevin Traina is going to scream from the outside and is going to light up Flash Williams like a Christmas tree. And that will force Maine to punt this football away here, as Montoya still enjoying a 14-0 lead, but the junior quarterback is going to go ahead and throw an interception here. And now Maine gets itself, maybe this is the moment where they get themselves back in this game. They can beat these guys. They've already done it in the regular season, but they will need to go ahead and convert this third down, as Flash Williams lines up under center in the I formation. Running back gets moved to the outside, drops back, but Flash Williams runs out of time, as Kevin McDonald is going to get his first sack of the game. The pocket just collapsing there, and Maine cannot do anything with the interception. So it does remain 14-0 until Bobby Young goes off. How about this young man right there? He is an absolutely bad man, as Bobby Young, that's going to be his 3rd touchdown of this game. Bobby Young absolutely on fire right now. That secondary has absolutely no chance of catching him there. And that will be a 21-0 game for Maine, as it's only going to grow a little bit more, as Bobby Young, his first catch, that is actually not a touchdown. He's still having a fantastic day though. He's going to make it close to 28-0 unless Maine can go ahead and close it down. But with that being said though, we will certainly not see that, as Maine is going to go ahead and get themselves yet another touchdown on the board, as that will be 28-0. And crazy thing is, we are not even done with the first half yet, as Bobby Young gets his hands on the football again. He has already got 3 touchdowns How about we make it 4 on the day, as Bobby Young has single-handedly helped New Hampshire dominate this main squad. And the thing about New Hampshire, it's not just Bobby Young. It's this team top to bottom, although that interception is not going to look good for them. Will Smith III helped to try to get that block on the interception return. Didn't necessarily work out that way, but Maine does manage to force yet another turnover. But the thing with New Hampshire, though, they are not playing as if they're trying not to lose like they did in that regular season game against Maine. They are playing to win, and we are seeing it right now as Tatafi, the senior wide receiver, he's going to get involved in this game. He's going to make a really nice catch by the boundary. We'll see if Maine can come out here and finally get some points on the board, because it has been a struggle bus for the Maine offense, as Williams throws it over the middle, finds his receiver, and that will go ahead and be the first score of the game for this Maine squad. They will finally get that goose egg off the board. We'll see if it's too little too late, but at least you're not getting shut out here in your conference championship game. We'll see if their defense can also continue their solid play, as it's double coverage, and still receiver comes down with it. That's Brandon Terrell. He actually mainly plays defensive back, but he that does not lead to anything, though, as New Hampshire does settle for a field goal, making it 38-7. And Flash Williams is trying to make something happen. It just isn't happening today. His receivers just not quite getting open like we saw in the matchup that we saw in the regular season. And New Hampshire are able to run away with this, 38-14 being the final score. Bobby Young, of course, does get named the player of the game. So we start things off here with a little bit of a blowout, but let's see if we get something a little bit different here for the SEC Conference Championship game that pits the Eagles of Georgia Southern, who come in number 9 in the country. They will take on the number 22 ranked Northwestern State Demons, and the Demons, same scenario as last year. If they win, they're in the playoffs. If they lose, though, if they lose this game, they could be on the outside looking in. Only ranked number 22 in the country, and the top 24 teams do get in. So, a win here for the Demons would solidify their FCS playoff odds, courtesy of a good old-fashioned automatic qualifier. But Georgia Southern, it's hard to beat them, and it's hard to beat them twice, especially when they have absolutely been on fire. Akeda Woods firing an absolute dot right there that will put the Eagles in the red zone. We'll see if they can punch it in. Miniachi gets a handoff, follows his blocks downfield. The fullback doing a great job running in slides to get that final block that was needed in order for Georgia Southern to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. And now Northwestern State comes out onto the field. A long possession for the Eagles, as we will go ahead and see Aiden Rose get his first catch of the day. Nice job running to the outside by the true freshman tight end. And matter of fact, he got him in a goal line set, so reward your tight end, as Aiden Rose there is going to get the touchdown. They run the reverse, and it's going to bamboozle, and it is going to confuse that Georgia Southern squad, so it does end up being all knotted up at 7 apiece there. As now getting rid of the first quarter, as Akeda Woods, he drops back the pass, he faces some pressure, and the pocket ends up collapsing. So after this first quarter does come to an end, it's going to be a long third down for the Eagles to overcome, and they just can't do it. So now Northwestern gets a state to go ahead and get the first lead of the game here in the SEC Championship, as Richardson will try to throw on 4th and 7, but the same thing happens to him as it does to Akeda Woods. Defense collapses in on the pocket, and now Northwestern State, they are going to have to go ahead and turn this football over, as now Second down coming up. Georgia Southern comes back out on the field. Backup tailback is in the game. He's got some space to work. He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Oh my. How about an incredible run by this freshman at tailback? I'll tell you what. Nice job on the reverse first and foremost, but breaks one tackle, even breaks a second. And then after that, that's a foot race that he wins into the end zone. As now Georgia Southern takes the lead, makes it 14-7. But Wallace Gates, he's a guy here that they expected to play a bigger role, and that just hasn't happened yet. Georgia Southern doing a great job shutting him down, but Richardson, he's going to step up to the plate though on 3rd and 11, and look who he finds again. It's Aiden Rose, who's having a really good first half. 3 catches, 77 yards, and of course, that rushing touchdown that we saw back in the first quarter. We'll see if Northwestern State can punch it in the end zone again as they will go through the air, and it does end up being caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Demons. And now it's all knotted up at 14 apiece here as Georgia Southern gets it out to Albert Miniachi. Miniachi, he's a bad man, and we can see it here on this carry. He's at the 5, touchdown. And one of the best running backs in all of college football, he was certainly gone like a girl in a country song, especially after he got the pitch from Ikeda Woods. It turned into a numbers game, and listen, Georgia Southern, they just simply had more numbers on the outside than Northwestern State did on defense. It's back to a 7-point lead for Georgia Southern. But look at this, though. Northwestern State's putting together yet another drive, a little bit more high scoring than what we saw in the regular season matchup with Northwestern State. Did end up winning, as Wallace Gates will finish up that drive, and that will tie things right back up for the Demons, making it 21-all. We should be slated for yet another SEC championship game. A fight to the finish, and Miniachi gets the pitch at the very last second. Safety can't catch him, and he is gone. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Mama, there goes that man. As Ikeda Woods, just an absolute maestro in terms of taking that pitch right there. As that now makes it a 1-score lead in favor of Georgia Southern. Richardson looking for the response, gets it downfield to Rosaire, and Rosaire will get them in good positioning here. They will be in just about Georgia Southern territory. This is a 1st and 10 for the 50-yard line. Richardson, he's going to fire downfield again. He finds his receiver once again, and that is going to be inside the 10-yard line. Derek Richardson, he's kind of a dual threat, but he has really emerged as a passer as the year goes on. And that just really is going to help Wallace Gates here, who I would imagine is going to get this handoff because everyone in the stadium is calling for it. We know what's about to happen, and sure enough, call me Tony Romo because I called it right there. Wallace Gates getting the carry, and it's a touchdown for the Demons that will tie things up at 28 apiece. It is a battle, a fight to the finish, as Ikeda Woods once again gets it out to Miniachi, but at least this time Miniachi will end up getting caught from behind. A great day for the tailback. Over 250 yards of total offense that this running back is specifically responsible for. As Georgia Southern looking to try to get it to the tailback once again, but this time Ikeda Woods doesn't get a clean pitch, and Northwestern State is going to recover the fumble. So this would be a really good time for a huge play. Richardson, he's going to take a shot. Ball's in the air, and it's caught by Rosaire. Touchdown, Demons. And Northwestern State with 39 seconds left to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be a 35-28 lead for Northwestern State. Possibly one more quarter separating them and the FCS playoffs for the very first time in this series. But Ikeda Woods has something to say about it. He's trying to win this SEC championship and make sure his guys get a top 8 bid into the FCS playoffs so that they can stay a little bit more rested and not worry about playing football until the second round, as Williams is going to try to get the handoff here, but Northwestern State, at least that time around, they were all over that play. So now trying to run it back here on a 3rd and long. Ikeda has to drop back to pass. He gets outside the pocket though, finds a throwing lane, and it's caught, and it's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. Big time play by Ikeda Woods, able to slide down in the pocket, and now it's all knotted up at 35. 3:30 left to play, a chance to possibly take the lead for Northwestern State, but the 4th sack of the day for Georgia Southern comes at a clutch time, as that will go ahead and force the Demons to punt this thing away. And stop me if you've seen this before. We saw this in the Year 1 championship game within the SEC Conference. Ikeda Woods with a chance to win the game, but we might have a little bit different of a result here. 4th and 24. And now it's going to might be decision time for Georgia Southern. But wait a minute. You saw what just happened on screen. Jones might have celebrated just a little bit too much. So we got to see if that is actually the case. The flag on the field. And it actually is unsportsmanlike conduct. And that makes it an automatic 1st down from the Royals back in 05. And now Georgia Southern gets a brand new set of downs to work with. And oh no, that unsportsmanlike penalty might actually stop them from going to the FCS playoffs. I feel terrible for that kid. He was just making a big time play, and now all of a sudden his excessive celebrating is going to set up a 40-yard field goal that will give Georgia Southern the lead with less than a minute left. The kick, it's up, and it's good! Georgia Southern is going to take the lead. But Northwestern State, they got one more chance to tie or win this game. Richardson trying to put together a game-tying or game-winning drive. And Jason Bain is going to go ahead and put a stop to it right away. As with 39 seconds left to play in the ball game, that will be intercepted. And that means Georgia Southern, for the 2nd time in a row, they are going to be champions of the SEC Conference. And that will put them in a decent position to go ahead and compete for a top 8 seed. So that's what Georgia Southern gets to do. But as for Northwestern State, well, anything is certainly still possible. Unfortunately for them, 9-3, it just might not do it this year, as Northwestern State is going to end their season right here again. So how about that for an exciting championship game as we jump into the next conference championship? This time 2 teams featured in the top 10. We got the Conference USA Championship and also the game of the week as well, as the number 10 Tulane Green Wave go on the road. They go up to Greenville, North Carolina to take on the number 3 team in all of college football. We got the Eastern Carolina Pirates. And these Pirates are going to be led by Ricky McFadden, having a solid year so far. 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. We'll see if he can outduel his backup quarterback. Hey, Mr. Carter, trying to tell us where we've been, and it's going to end up in the hands of an Eastern Carolina player as Nick Carter, who has been enjoying a solid season, stepping in for Jack Irvin. Jack Irvin, he's the actual starter for this Tulane squad. He's actually been hurt and has a season-ending injury. But besides that, he's been playing a solid football. We'll see if Eastern Carolina can make him pay for it, though, as Ricky McFadden looking for touchdown 21, and he is going to get it. 21, 21, 21, touchdown Pirates. As Eastern Carolina is going to make it 10-0 early here, as Ricky McFadden is able to make them bite off the play action, and making them pay dearly for it as well. 10-0 lead for Eastern Carolina as Carter drops back. He's going to try to respond, but that's also going to be intercepted. And that was even worse than the first one because Bryson Jones is going to get his second interception of this season, and it does end up being a defensive touchdown there as well. You absolutely hate to see it there, as now Eastern Carolina finds itself up 17-0, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on this backup quarterback, Nick Carter. We'll see what he's got in him. Carter looking over the middle. It's intercepted again. It is going to end up being yet another defensive touchdown as well, as Tulane in this first quarter alone, that is their third turnover. And specifically, Carter, I'm talking to you, that was your third interception of the game. We still have 3 more quarters left to play as Eastern Carolina continues to build its commanding lead, 27-0. McFadden looking towards the sideline. It ends up being caught, and that is a foot race that ECU wide receiver, he is going to win more times than not, as Ricky McFadden's going to put together yet another touchdown for the Pirates, and it is still a commanding lead, making it 34-0. Nick Carter just trying to get something on the board before we go into the halftime locker room, as that was tipped. And it ends up in the hands of a Tulane receiver. These guys haven't even been playing good, so I'm not even saying the original saying, but sometimes, you just get lucky, and that was certainly the case right there. But Eastern Carolina, they don't need that luck. They don't need that, because Barrett Haston, star tailback for Eastern Carolina, he's just going to go ahead, take the toss to the right-hand side as we wrap up this first half of action, and that will make it 41-7. Carter looking to try to make sure that this game stays a little bit more respectable, and Carter will at least get his second passing touchdown of the game. Nice throw over the middle as well, but still a huge deficit to overcome. 41-14 here. This is for possibly a top 8 spot. McFadden looking over the left side. It's a one-on-one matchup, and it still ends up getting caught anyways. Touchdown, Eastern Carolina, as that now makes it 48-14. That was really nice pocket work, by the way, by Ricky McFadden, able to slide his feet to the outside, get away from pressure, and it's just a dominant game for Eastern Carolina. You want to talk about building some momentum going into the playoffs? This is exactly how you do it right there. You put a 50 burger on their forehead against a team that was being talked about as a team that could get a top 8 seed leading up to this matchup. And Eastern Carolina easily taking care of business here, winning 55-21. But you want to talk about games that have even more implications. How about 2 teams in the top 8? Whoever wins this game is going to most definitely get a top 8 bye and advance themselves to the second round automatically. We got number 7 Ball State, who, regardless of what happens in this game, should probably get their first playoff appearance. But Kent State, the defending national champions, they're going to be looking for that playoff bye. So that's one less game that they got to go for the gauntlet in order to bring that national championship home. We'll see what ends up happening here in this MAC championship. As we jump in late in the first quarter here, Ball State does have an early lead as of right now, but Williams is going to go ahead and throw to the outside, and is going to go ahead and bring a touchdown on the board, as Kent State will take the lead, making it a 7-3 favor advantage going to these Golden Flashes. And we know why Kent State is again contending for a national championship. One of those reasons because they are one of the best red zone offenses in America, and that will continue, as that 87% that they had coming into this game that is going to continue to rise as the tailback is going to find a hole in the end zone. And a 14-free lead early for the Golden Flashes as Brandon Ford tries to answer back, but he's actually going to be intercepted here. And not only is he going to be intercepted, he's going to see Dante Clark, who just notched his 4th interception of the season, having a stellar year in the defensive backfield. He's going to return that all the way back to the crib, but we end up seeing an extra point miss, surprisingly. So that was an interesting thing to see. So it was 20-3 instead of 21-3 for Brandon Ford. He will answer back here on the next possession. That does cut it down to a 2-score game, but going into the 3rd quarter, Williams looking for something to shake out, but that gets intercepted as well. It was a 4th down. They were going to try to go ahead and go for it there simply because, hey, this is a thing where, we saw, you have to do something there on 4th downs. You're going to turn the ball anyways on downs. Might as well be aggressive. Just doesn't work out for them, but their defense continues to step up extremely well as Kent State is going to go ahead and get yet another interception on Brandon Ford there, as he threw that up in the air to hope his receiver to make a play, but the problem was just put way too much arm strength into that because that ball was definitely overthrown. Is now 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, dropping back, looks to the left, but the tailback was not paying attention, and it was considered a backwards pass, and Ball State is going to actually recover it there. So Ball State here, late in the 3rd quarter, they are certainly showing some signs of life. Ford, couple of plays later, drops back. He's going to almost get his. He's thrown, and it leads to another interception. And this DB said, anything that you can do, I can certainly do better, as a 3rd turnover for the Golden Flashes defense leads to yet another touchdown, and that makes it 27-10 in favor of Kent State. As ensuing kickoff now, Kent State looks like they are certainly in control, what you would expect from the defending national champions. And speaking of that control, we see yet another turnover that leads to a Golden Flashes field goal. So 30-10 in favor of Kent State as Brandon Ford tries to get the 4th quarter rally going. Ford gets it out to the left-hand side. It's a wide receiver screen, and it's a good call as Kent State was actually blitzing there on the outside. So that'll help cut it down a little bit, but Kent State, they will simply not be denied today, as Daryl Cunningham, the guy that was highlighted in the MAC championship preview, he's going to find that end zone, man, as Williams is going to throw it right over the top. A little bit of a wobbly ball because he did end up getting hit, but Kent State does win the conference championship. 8-1 in conference play overall, and Kent State, of course, will get that top 8 seed and the AQ qualifier for the MAC conference. However, that being said, Ball State, even though they did lose today, they should still go ahead and be in the FCS playoffs. The only question is, what seed will they be at as an at-large squad? So the last conference championship game that we got going on is the Big 12 Championship. Got 2 teams ranked in the top 25 as Alcorn State comes in ranked number 25 in the country. Takes on the Tigers of Texas Southern, who come in ranked number 12 in the nation. And if Alcorn State, they have any chance of winning this game, Michael Horn and Travis Wilkerson, they are going to have to absolutely ball out today if their team wants to have a chance to win. Because I'll tell you what, Murray, this running back for Texas Southern, Alcorn State defense is going to have a really tough time with this man. I have a very bad feeling about that as an Alcorn State guy, as Travis Wilkerson is going to try to start things out, looking for not Michael Horn, but actually a different wide receiver. And Travis Wilkerson is going to start things out, getting it dropped in the bucket pretty well. as Alcorn State gets into the red zone here early. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line as it's a direct snap for the running back, and the running back is going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Braves! Usually it's the passing game that gets a lot of love here at Alcorn State, but it's the running game, though, that actually gets it into the end zone, and it's a 7-0 lead for Alcorn State, as we will go ahead and see Adam Mayhew trying to go to work. Second drive of the game for the Texas Southern offense. First time out, they did end up sputtering, as the Tigers seek their first touchdown of the game as well, as we get late into the first quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line, as Murray, he's going to take the carry and run it in the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. There's that man, Robert Murray. We knew he was special, and Alcorn State's going to have to put a lot of points up on the board if they want to go ahead and win the conference championship and keep their season alive. Wilkerson now has 5 straight completions there, as Travis Wilkerson, he is certainly feeling himself right now. We'll see if we can keep it going here as we got 3rd and long from the 47. Wilkerson is going to face a tremendous amount of pressure there, and that will force the Braves to go ahead and punt this football away. And now Texas Southern takes control. Mayhew dropping back. He's going to face some pressure, gets it away, and finds the fullback. Fullback's getting a little bit of love in the offense, and he just gashed the Alcorn State defense there, as sets up another scoring opportunity for Texas Southern. Mayhew looking for the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Texas Southern. And the Tigers, midway through the second quarter, is going to take the lead, and that was a great throw in the back of the end zone. As now we'll see if Travis Wilkerson can respond, possibly give him a little bit of Heisman hype. Same with Michael Horn, who will go ahead and make a really nice catch there. We knew he was special, 5th in the NCAA in receiving yards. He's closing in on 1,400 for the whole year, but drive doesn't go anywhere. So his Alcorn State team down by a touchdown, and then look what happens here towards the end of the first half. Adam Mayhew is going to go off. Touchdown, Texas Southern, as Mayhew shows the wheels there. And Alcorn State, they were all in coverage. They did not have a spy, and therefore the Tigers pull away a little bit here towards the end of the first half. Moving forward, midway through the third quarter, Wilkerson desperately needs a play, and that is not going to be looking good, as Travis Wilkerson is going to throw an interception there. And this defense doing its job right now, stopping a very potent Alcorn State offense and just allowing their team to really control the time of possession, as the fullback who got that really big catch earlier, he will actually find the end zone. He's going to get rewarded for those soft hands that he showed in the passing game, as it now makes it 28-7, and things do not look good for Alcorn State. Wilkerson looking to find some sort of response, throws it over the middle, and it does end up being caught. Could have been considered a little bit of a hospital ball, but catch is still made, and it is still considered a completion. Later in the drive, 1st and 10. Wilkerson thrown to the outside, gets it out to Michael Horn, who's looking for that Heisman trophy to take it home. That could possibly be a Heisman moment there, as Michael Horn just went up there. And after that, that boy was gone like a girl in a country song. As it now takes us into the fourth quarter, Alcorn State trying to rally from 2 touchdowns down. Will this help? Horn, he's on the other hand. He's not going to call a fair catch, and he's got some blocks on the outside. No one left to catch him, and that boy is gone. Mama, there goes that man. As that now makes it 250 total yards of offense for Michael Horn, and his team is only down by 1 possession. Ensuing kickoff, though, Texas Southern, they get their hands on the football, and he's looking good for the kick return game, and Texas Southern is going to respond right away, as this man is also gonna go into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas Southern, and creating some distance between them and Alcorn. Is back to a 2-score game as Wilkerson tries to respond right back. Great throw down the sideline. There was not a lot of space there on that sideline whatsoever, and somehow managed to go ahead and make a catch off of it despite that. As Wilkerson looking to throw again, but that is going to be Carlos Cohan that is going to get his hands on the quarterback. And Alcorn State, they're going to have no choice. 4th and 19, down by 2 scores in the 4th quarter. They absolutely have to go for it. Alcorn dropping back. Wilkerson looking for the end zone. He wants it all, and he gets it. He gets it into the end zone, and it's back to a 1-score game. This thing is not over yet. Texas Southern, they sputter on the next drive, so Wilkerson does get a chance to go ahead and possibly tie this game, but they're going to be put in the same spot, and things are getting a little chippy down there on the field. You know this game means a lot for both programs, both looking for their FCS playoff appearance, and Texas Southern could have very well just sealed a trip into the FCS playoffs for the very first time in this series, as Roderick Murray is going to punch his way into the end zone. And if it wasn't made clear just yet, that does end up being an absolute dagger. Texas Southern is going to win the Big 12 championship by a final score of 42-28. And Texas Southern, they came in the top 12. We'll see if they can work their way into a top 8 spot potentially, so that they can get a free pass into the second round. But for Alcorn State, the season painfully ends for them today, as they will likely end up ranked outside the top 25 when the new polls come out. So the last thing that I wanted to see is that since one of our custom coaches that we user controlled has a Heisman finalist, we do get to go ahead and see who wins the Heisman Trophy, coming down to Wilkerson, Raymer of James Madison, Michael Horn, also of Alcorn State, and then of course Andy Mosley of San Diego State, and then Bobby Young, the 5th and final Heisman finalist for the Heisman Trophy, as it does end up going to Michael Horn. So Michael Horn, his team does not win the Big 12 Conference Championship, might not see FCS playoff action, but at the very least, Alcorn State does have a Player of the Year. So we have seen 15 incredible regular season matchups, or at least weeks of regular season football, and we also seen some great conference championship matchups. But with all that being said, all the FCS playoff spots, they have been decided. But you already know what time it is. Next episode, I will go through and reveal the entire FCS playoff field, the 24 teams that will get an opportunity to play for the FCS National Championship. So you guys, you don't want to miss a single thing. And if you enjoyed today's FCS video, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button with the notification bell if you do happen to be brand new. Shoot, even leave me a comment down in the comment section if, for some reason you couldn't make it to the live premiere of today's episode. But with that, this is John J Gaming on the mic, checking off and signing out. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.